Hey, what's up, fellas? Everybody, Vic here with Eclectic Soundtrax podcast. Skunk Manhattan, joined by Mr. Omar Jahwar. Is that right?
Yes,
The
sir.
second,
The second.
Jawar.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Otherwise
yeah.
known as Two. And Two, you're a part of a group called Two Lot. And I'm just gonna read the bio real quick, and then we can start jumping in, and then just kind of go over how you guys formed and what you guys are doing out there. Really cool stuff. So Two Lot was formed during times of immense change and uncertainty when each member found themselves at a pivotal point in their lives. United by a shared purpose, the band takes its name from the second law of thermodynamics, intentionally crossing it out as a declaration to resist entropy, which is actually really cool. So you guys aim to activate and inspire people through music and social advocacy. Mission goes beyond entertainment, focusing on key causes like overcoming addiction, empowering youth to discover their gifts, and advocating for criminal justice reform. So 5 members in Two Lot right now, all from diverse backgrounds, each bringing a unique blend of influence that range from hip hop, soul, funk, jazz to rock. Avid fan of electronic music, they've fused these genres to make their own sound, which they call electronic jam music, genre that marries electronic elements with the improvisational spirit of classic jam bands. So, hey, thanks for joining us. I know you just came in from California. Happy to talk to you,
Yeah,
man. You
man.
guys have some really cool stuff. I mean, Skunk and I were listening to it earlier today and really dig it, man, and just kind of dig the vibe that you guys are putting out there.
Well,
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
EJM, that's a cool moniker, man. Electronic
Yeah.
jam music. And, you know, it's one of
Yeah.
those things you kind of go, I wonder what this is going to sound like. And it's like I put it on and like immediately I liked it. The first, the first track, which I think is your latest single, right? And the whole record just dropped. There's a series of singles, but the album just dropped November 15th, Friday. So it is brand new.
It is,
And
man. Yeah.
and I put it on and I'm listening. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, like it. But you know, it's got the electronic vibe. It's got really good, like, I don't know, man. It's just very catchy and hooky, and it's just you know, enjoyable to listen to. But as I go, I you know, each track, certain things start happening where you really start hearing that musicality and that, you know, jammy aspect. But like, you're like, no, okay, I'm listening to some legit musicians playing here too, along with this, right? And all of a sudden, you know, you get hit with a organ, you know, a piano solo or something, and then you got some really interesting jazz elements, you know, like there's some great jazz keyboard and stuff like that and piano. And so as I went through it, like there were all these little moments where I'm like, kind of as a musician too, I'm kind of going like, yeah, cool, man, you know. So I think it is a very, very cool fusion musically that you guys have going. But then reading the bio, like Vic was just stating there, it's just like, I love the message too, man. I love that you guys are doing this and for the right reasons, you know, and trying to inspire. And it's such a topsy-turvy world, and so many people are messed up and confused, and we live in this fast-paced social media. Everybody, once they're 15, you know, nobody can slow down for 5 minutes. It's like you kind of,
Right.
you know, people need that direction and help and guidance. And especially I've done some nonprofit stuff for youth like that too, man. Just sometimes just being a mentor and letting someone recognize the potential they do have, you know, in life is extremely important. So props to the message that you guys as experienced musicians are trying to pass along to the younger generation or to anyone struggling, or, you know, that maybe can find solace and stuff like that in music. So that, I think that's really great.
Man, appreciate it, man. Yeah, I mean, this was natural just coming from, one thing I'll tell you first off, man, is that they call me two because my dad is Omar Jahwar the first, right? I'm Omar Jahwar the second. He was Bishop Omar, Bishop of the culture, driving social change, was one of the ones that wasn't afraid to get in the middle of, any opposing sides and say, man, what do we fiercely agree on? Let's start there, and work from there, man. It was just again a natural thing for us, man. Going through so many different things, in our lives, man. The way that the band was formed was from, each of us coming from some type of like, different situation, man. Whether it was a divorce or somebody passing away, like my pops passing away or Rudy's dad passing away, different things, man. And it's a really, really crazy story, man. I won't, waste y'all's time, with a lot of the details, man. But the punchline was, man, my pops got sick on his way to Wichita, Kansas, man. Literally on the plane, his chest was, getting real tight, man. Felt like he couldn't breathe. Found out, he had COVID, blah, blah, blah. Ended up having to land in Wichita, man. And rushed himself to the emergency room and was there for over 100 days. And things were not looking too good. I naturally ended up, going to Wichita to make sure that my dad was okay. And man, it wasn't the best thing. He ended up passing away. Again, was there for over 100 days. Was just the craziest situation, man. And while I was there, man, I got a call from Chase. He said, "Hey, man, I heard you were into music. Man, you should come through. And I have a drum set here." And it was just crazy, man. I ended up going there, playing drums, jamming out with Chase, man. We played Sissy Strut until we were blue in the face. Man, it was just a crazy time. But to me, that was a space, man, where I was smiling again, man.
Mm-hmm.
Was in a different space, man, and not thinking so much. Well, obviously, I was thinking about my dad, but it was a thing where, man, like, okay, in the midst of, if this is something that was going to happen anyways, if this is something that was just, you know, out of my control, what is it that I could focus on that, not only could help me, through this situation, man, but in the essence, man, be able to help somebody else. One thing that happened, man, we were jamming and I was like, man, this is cool playing drums, and then chases the guitarist, man. I was like, man, we need somebody else. We need a keyboard player. We need a bass player, something. And so we ended up getting Sage Judd, man, the chairman of the boards. My brother, he ended up coming through. We got introduced to him through Chase's guitar teacher, his private lessons instructor, William.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, man, just a small world, man.
Yeah.
Jamming with Sage, Chase, now myself, we were like, okay, this is cool. Man, we need somebody to play the bass. And so we ended up hitting up Rudy Love Jr., who, man, is just somebody who is off the hook. Not only was he like playing key bass at the time, but he's an amazing lyricist, man. His pops is Rudy Love Sr. The song,
Yeah.
one that Jay-Z sampled in American Gangster,
Mhm.
that's his dad, So
Wow.
Wow.
Rudy just literally grew up in that. Literally, while my dad was going through what he was going through, boom, just like that, just out of nowhere, Rudy's pops, ends up, kind of on a downward spike. He had cancer for a minute, but things just started looking really, really bad. Literally at the same time, which was wow. Long story short, my pops ended up passing away. Rudy's dad ends up passing away, man, and we start writing songs. We start seeing this as, a thing that we can use not only to kind of I mean, because man, one little backstory about me, man. I'm in the world of business. I got my little stuff going on over here. I've been licensed since I was 18 in financial services, blah blah blah. But never was in a space where I could really, really, really live, man, and express myself. If you've been in the world of business, anybody looking or watching or listening,
Mm-hmm.
it's about, hey man, don't have too many highs here, man. Don't be too happy here. You can't be too low here. But in the world of music and when you're creating art, that's a space where you're allowed to have the highs and the lows, and at this time where I was, being introduced to my brothers in Two Lot, man, I was going through everything you can imagine. Literally got the call that my wife was in labor in our rehearsal. Got the call that my pops was passing away while I was, with. I mean, it was just, a lot of things going on. I literally wasn't with my brothers when I got that call when my pops was passing away, man. But I was connected to everything going on with
Mhm.
Two Lot, man. But just in general, man, this was the space where it was like, okay, man, we can go and really, really go deep. We can write some songs, this, that, the other. But what is this about? How can we differentiate ourselves from every other band that's out there? You know, Not saying that we're anything special, man, but you know, how can we take this beyond just music?
Right.
And to us, music obviously has so much power, right? It has
Mm-hmm.
the power to unify. It's the ultimate language, the ultimate unifier, right? If you will. It's kind of like
Yeah.
laughter, it's the same in all languages, right? But that was one thing we looked at. We was like, okay, with the power of music, what could we do, man, to help in a way? Because again, my pops was big with driving social change. Chase's dad is big with driving social change. Rudy's pops was big with that. Right? We were like, okay, this is like a part of our DNA, man. This is in our blood. This is who we are. We can't really get away from this. This is something that we really, really want to see one day, whether it helps one person or whether it helps 100. It will be really cool for this to be the thing that, beyond getting some accolades and getting some streams, this really does something else.
Right.
And we said, man, you know what? What if we figured out a way not to be a charity band, right? Where we that's not what we are, right? We give you a kick-ass show. We do the whole thing, man. Crazy lights, the whole thing. But what could we do, man, to help in our own way drive social change, right? I have folks that are in my circle that are facing addiction. We all know folks that are, needing help with criminal justice reform, man, in jail for, nonviolent crimes, man, needing to reduce the recidivism rate, for that type of stuff. We all know folks that are, fighting poverty, this, that, the other, man. And these could literally be musicians. And one thing that was near and dear to us was folks that were fighting addiction. There's a crossroad, a very weird cross section between music and addiction, that a lot of people don't talk about. And to us, I mean, I know for me and Trusco, for sure, man, we lost like several people in Dallas alone, where I literally just landed. I hadn't even taken my jacket off, bro. I got a call from the manager. He's like, "Hey, you got the interview?" I was like, "Oh shit," But literally here in Dallas, man, me and Trusco, man, we lost like several people, and just this year alone, big names, man. I'm not even going to mention them here because I don't want to, just man, I don't want to cry on this interview, right? But these are folks that were like the MD for Janet Jackson. You're talking about, I mean, just so many different folks. Whether you call it this or that or whatever happened, man, and not to just point out one individual, but so many different people have passed away from just that whole ordeal, man. And there's been so many different folks in Dallas, man, that have gone through that, man. It's been crazy to us. But one thing I'll tell you is that there's an organization, man, called the Phoenix, man. Because I was getting ready to go on a tangent, man, and not to say that one individual, the MD, that's not what happened or nothing like that, man. But there's a lot of folks just that have passed away from that. One thing that we found, man, is that there's an organization called the Phoenix. You started by Scott Stroh, man. There's another guy that's in the Phoenix, man, by the name of Bill Taylor, who's been literally responsible for that cross section where music meets, overcoming addiction for the past 20, 30 years, man. And they've been doing the real work, man, to really help folks overcome that. And the way that they're doing that is in a very unique way, man, through the power of fitness and community, right?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, man, if you've, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say I haven't, caught a buzz before, right? But there's a scientific thing that, I forget how they put it, but you could literally, I mean, man, get the same type of euphoria, even more from like working out with a group of people, and it's a thing that can replace addiction to alcohol, to drugs, to this, to that. And the only barrier to entry to the Phoenix, man, is that you have to be 48 hours sober. That's it. But man, it's a crazy, crazy, crazy world. Started off with like 175 people, which was a lot, to be honest with you, man. I wish we had 175 fans. No, I'm just joking. Um, they sat out to get a million people,
Yeah.
a million people, a million people sober, man, and they have reached that mark, man. They
Wow.
have a campaign called A Million Strong. They've surpassed. I mean, not I don't think it's a million. It's definitely well over a half a million, right? I'm just gonna say that because I know we're being recorded. Some people say it's a million. I've heard different numbers, man, but I know for sure over a half a million around
When
this
was this?
country.
When was this organization started? Do you know the year it was started?
Man, the year the Phoenix was start, I don't know the exact year, man. I don't know the
Yeah.
exact year. It wasn't
It,
long ago. It was
Man,
during
before you got
COVID.
on. Okay, during COVID. I mean, that's incredible then in
Wow.
that short amount of
Okay.
time. And I think I want to come back to COVID and your timeline and everything with the band, but it's interesting and funny, you know, that you're ironic that you're saying this, because right before you came on, Vic and I were talking about this, and I've been talking about this so much lately. It's that whole, I think, and especially with artists, it makes sense to me as a musician and artist, someone who's hyper creative and AC, ADD and all these things, and I overextend myself and get go crazy, and a lot of times it makes sense to me. I understand a lot of things that are relatable about you're trying to sort of bring yourself down or slow yourself down, and then you got to pick yourself up. And I see where these addictions come from, right? And I'm lucky that I've never been in the depths as bad as some of these people have. But I mean, like anybody, I've had my struggles. But the thing about it is it's so much harder to, for the average person to sort of motivate themselves to do the push-ups, to do this, to do anything, to go for a walk, anything physical. And that biology, the physiology of doing that in the end is going to make you feel exponentially better. It's so much easier to just go have a beer, smoke a joint, or do any of those things. And
Hmm.
anything, and not anything, but little things, little doses, fine. But when you're doing it for the wrong reasons and you're trying to do it to suppress something or to take, that's where the gym, that's where working out comes in. And this connection here is amazing because it's so accurate, man. And anytime I feel like I'm at my best, a lot of times it takes me getting to my lowest point, and I have that decision recently in my life. I went through something. I had the decision to say, okay, I can either go, and I went to a few bars for a few nights, and I said, I can keep doing this crap. I can keep feeling sorry for myself and drinking and just make things worse. And I've been there before. I've been in bad places and then had to, get sober for a few years. And I said, no, man. And I fucking went to the gym like crazy, and it was just
Yeah.
like, it changed everything within a few weeks.
Hmm.
Everything was, and so I think that the Phoenix, this organization you're talking about, and everything you're talking about is so paramount and so important for everybody, and particularly artists, I think, who struggle in their own unique way sometimes with dealing with things, and everybody needs a positive outlet to, to boost those, and I don't know, endorphins or whatever, and not,
Yeah,
not your
man.
social media dopamines, not your suppressant
Right.
drugs, but like what God gave us, nature itself, it provides everything we need, all that, and
Yeah.
so we just go take care of your body. It's going to take care of your mind too. I wanted to come
Yeah.
back to COVID. Is that when you guys started? I guess it was. I mean, with everything that was happening with your father, and condolences. So sorry to hear that. I mean, I know that happened with many people, and it's such a long, rough road. I can't even imagine, man. But you guys coming together out of that, and then this whole positive thing that you guys have now collectively decided to put out there. I mean, there's these positive silver linings that come out of some of these worst moments for people, and I think it's such a beautiful thing. So, in terms of this band forming, you guys all have these track records, have been around, are accomplished musicians, all of you in your own right. Just going through your resumes, your bios on the website, Two Lot. I think it's just twolot.com, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and, I encourage everybody to just go read up on that because it's really an interesting story, and in each of your own stories is very unique and interesting. And you guys coming together collectively is super cool. And so, when you guys started coming together, first of all, did you know Chase when he called you, or was this out of the blue? Had you guys met? Did you know each other, or
It was
how
out
did
of the blue. Out of the
out of
blue,
the
bro.
Hmm.
blue? And he just
Three
had
one
heard about you
six
that you were
Kansas
there.
number.
I'll be
Yeah, I
damned.
mean,
That's
well,
that's amazing.
naturally, yeah. I mean, he knew that Pops had a son.
Okay.
Then he reached out, man. And I mean, I'm sure he knew that I was like in town,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
because I naturally had to move to not move, but just kind of
but you were
move my
there for a
life.
while, sure.
Yeah, for a minute, man. I was living out of a hotel for a minute. Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy
Now,
time,
with you
bro.
guys spread around, so when you started, would you say you started jamming and everything? This would have been, I'm assuming, 2020 was when
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
the origins, and then
Okay.
when you started
yeah.
actually writing and getting into the recording and the production of the album, where did that land in terms of when you guys actually started crafting these songs and recording these songs?
About 2021, 2022. Yeah, for sure.
And were they sort of put together in various studios around the country since you guys are in different places, or did everybody collectively come together at a studio? Like, what was the process like creating these
Man,
songs?
that was a very interesting process, right? Because half the band lives in Dallas, half the band lives in Wichita. So every single Monday, myself and Trusco, we fly to we go to Wichita, and man, y'all meet my baby daughter real quick. She's here. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can. She's here. She's saying, "Hey, daddy."
Hey,
Oh, and they're saying, "Hey." It's two of them on there. Baby girl, baby girl.
how old is she?
Okay. She is 2 years old. She's 2 years old.
And what's
Almost
her
two.
name?
Almost.
Ivy. Ivy. Yeah,
Ivy.
she's
Oh
two.
man.
Two
Okay,
going on
so
30,
yeah. Oh really? Okay. Are you getting a dose of the terrible twos yet, or is she chill?
bro. Come on, man. You see
Yeah.
the bags? Yeah, it's
Dude,
getting there.
well, my
It's
brother
definitely
has
getting there.
my brother's son, my nephew is 5 now, and I remember when I'm gonna tell this story because it's hilarious. And I remember when,
Yeah.
just seeing him grow up, it's such I don't have any kids, but just seeing that, and I know Vic's the same way, having nephews, nieces,
Hmm.
nephews is just like, it's amazing to see, and I remember my one time my brother, we were supposed to meet for like, he's in San Francisco, I was out there, right? We were gonna like meet up for pizza or something, and and he's like, yeah, sorry, running behind. My girl that I was with, we were, all ready to go. So we ended up just saying, oh, well, we'll just go anyway. And he was like, yeah, I don't know. I'll get back to you. And he's like, why? We just got back. And now my son's really unhappy because for some reason he decided he wanted his orange juice to be purple. He wanted a purple drink. And he sent me a voice memo of him just like
Okay.
screaming and crying about like, it's not purple. And he's like, yeah, I don't think we're going to make it. Like, it was just this like total meltdown. And he goes, yeah, the terrible twos, that's a real thing.
Oh, God, that's hilarious. That's a soundbite right there. That's
Yeah.
the clip.
But
That's the
I'm like,
punchline for the whole interview right
dude, I
there.
got to use that. I want to put that on an album. I want to put that on a song, dude. Just like this meltdown. I'm like, I wish and a lot of times you look back and you're like, that was petty. But, we all have
A
meltdowns.
little
I'm like,
bit, a little bit,
I wish
yeah.
my meltdowns were so insignificant, like this color is not to
Yeah.
my pleasing. Like,
That is hilarious, man.
hey, just a
My
heads up.
God.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder, can you turn it? It doesn't really matter, I guess. But there you
Yeah, yeah,
go.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For
you've
sure.
just been sideways the whole interview.
All right, cool,
But
cool. I didn't know if that was
yeah,
better. To me, it's
nah,
like, yeah, horizontal, but okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I
Okay.
think we're all aligned now. But
Yeah, as long as it's not cut
whatever.
off, man. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. No, you're good, dude. Okay, so where
Cool, cool,
were
cool.
we? We're talking about the recording and the process. You were flying up to
Mm.
Wichita,
Yep.
like every
Yeah,
other
man.
week or every
So,
week.
no, so every week, every Monday,
Every
we
week.
rehearse, man, for about probably 12 hours, man.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy, man. We all have diverse backgrounds. Some of us have kids, married, blah, 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 blah. So it takes a lot for five grown ass men to sacrifice that type of
Yeah.
time once every single week, man. And it's
Yep.
paid off.
That's great.
I mean, man, we didn't really get it at first, but I think we get it now for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That word, man. People, I think a lot of people that don't do this, it's like, oh, you're doing this thing. It sounds fun, and you're like, yeah, it is. It's fun when it's all done and you're performing. Like for me, the fun
Right.
comes from putting on a great performance or having
Exactly.
a
Yeah.
product you're proud of. But in the interim, there is a ton of. You're not just jacking around having fun. I mean, yeah, you're having. There's fun. There's moments of fun and excitement, but it's work. It's a lot of work.
Ton of
I-
work.
I'll tell you,
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, man. Skunk, man. It was funny. I ran into a very, I mean, if I said their name, like you all would know what I'm talking about. A very, very famous person. They were like, "Hey, Omar, man," and I just literally just saw them while I was in LA. They're like, "Hey, man, every person that I've met that's made it out here
Mm-hmm.
had to put in the work." They either there was no one that didn't like get away from or get out of having to literally put in the work, man. They either put it in before, they're putting it in right now, or they're getting ready to put in the work. But there's no one who has made it, man, who didn't have to literally put that work in, man. And that's one thing that was very, very apparent, not to just the folks in the band, but the folks around us, man, looking at us, literally grind it out. Man, I mean, you can see certain, viewership on YouTube or this or that or this or that, man. But it's literally, man, a lot of work on the back end, man, and it doesn't stop, man. It
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah. It
stop.
doesn't. Yeah, no, it's good to hear you say that out there, and I mean, sometimes you can think, sure, there's different advantages for different people all over the world. Life's not fair and all that, but at the end of the day, I mean, even the big pop stars that sort of that kind of had it handed to them in a sense, right? That had all the, maybe had the capital and I don't even look at talent because all that takes work anyway. You still have to go out there and do the
That's
work,
true. That's
So, I
true.
mean, I tend to just have a lot of respect for a lot of artists. I mean, even if it's not something that's my cup of tea or anything like that, because I'm like, I know like that's there's just no way around it. You're going to have to, one way or another. It might be more comfortable than some other people, but you're still
Yeah.
working your ass off all the time. So it's good that's recognized. So what were you in LA for? Was just like meetings and stuff out there? Were you performing or?
Man, we did a album release party in LA.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Cool.
yeah. So we did a joint at Poppy. That was super dope. The night before, so we did LA Saturday. We did Wichita Friday. And while we were out in LA, man, we were working on a really, really crazy song with Aloe Black, man. I can't reveal any details or anything like that, man, but a lot of really, really cool stuff is getting ready to come up for Two Lot and with him for sure.
So what's going on
Very cool.
performance wise? You doing a few one-offs to promote the album, or is there any kind of tour in the works, or what's the
Yeah.
schedule
We
looking
got
like
we got
there?
a tour coming up 2025. Working on the details, but you'll definitely see us on the road in 2025 for sure.
Awesome, man. Well, and I
Oh yeah.
imagine as a fellow Texans, you're right up the road. So I feel like Vic and I, we don't have to worry about you not coming
Where y'all
through.
at?
We're in
Where
Austin.
y'all at?
We're in Austin.
Shit.
Yeah,
That's what's
dude.
up, man. We
Yeah.
were with Mikkel from Stargate like yesterday. He did like all the shit with Rihanna, Katy Perry,
Wow. Okay.
Black and Yellow with Wiz Khalifa,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
him and
Yeah.
Tor. He just like literally, we were like, man, yo, let's get dinner tonight. Blah blah blah. He was like, oh, dude, I got to fly to Austin 4:30. He was hitting, I guess, like a Formula One track.
Mm,
Yeah. That's yep. Yep.
It's an
yeah. Yep.
official track or some shit. Yeah. So
Oh yeah,
like,
man. Yep.
he's out there like right now. Yeah.
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 That's a big thing out here for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
this town is crazy, man. It's blown up. It's just like a whole different universe than it was 20 years ago. I mean, yeah, I was in Dallas just a few weeks ago, man. It's I don't get up there too often, but where do you play in Dallas? What's a venue? What are some venues that fit you that you like? Do you have any favorites there or anywhere else?
Dude, I would say Artco is probably the best spot in Dallas. Artco, Freeman. I mean, there's a lot of different spots, man, but I would say Artco or Ferndwear. Top two spots for me in Dallas for sure. Yeah.
Cool, man. But tell us about. I mean, you started playing when you were picking up drumsticks when you were a toddler, right? Like you started playing when you were started taking lessons when you were 7. Am I remembering this correctly?
Yeah, about 7. Yeah, that's
Was
right.
music in your family?
That's
Were you
crazy. You know
multi
that.
instrument?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
wild.
were you multi instrumentalist, or was it always just drums that you gravitated toward? Like, did it?
I was doing drums, piano, and bass.
Okay, okay, all kind of when you
Yeah.
were younger. And do you still play a lot? Different things like that, or are you just kind of busy and focused on the drums primarily, just as because that's what you do?
Man, naturally that's what I do, but man, I think in the box when I'm cooking in Ableton or anything like
Yeah,
that, man, it's something that I, naturally kind of gravitate towards, trying out the bass, which I have a bass right here, guitar, got a little acoustic back there, I got the Ableton push, MIDIs, all of this kind of stuff just around.
yeah.
But I'm always experimenting with stuff, man. I'll probably never put down the keys or the guitar or the bass or anything like that. Yeah, just because, man.
Yeah, I mean, once you're a musician and you play those instruments, they're kind of synonymous. I mean, they all work together. And as a
Yeah,
songwriter, it's you kind of the guys like Prince or any of those kind of guys. They're like, oh
right.
yeah, they
I'm
say
not
freaking.
Prince, right? Yeah,
Well, a few are, I mean, Prince is Prince, and that's about it. But it's just like,
yeah.
you just kind of play every. It used to be kind of weird to me. I was like, wait, I don't understand. Wait, he plays that and that. I don't, huh? Now it's like, oh no, I get it. Like there's this one guy, and he just kind of writes everything, and he can play everything, and that's what he does.
That's Rudy Love, bro. Like Rudy
Yeah,
Love Jr., bro.
it's
He
one of those
reminds me a lot
guys.
of Prince for sure,
Cool, man.
for sure, for sure.
Well, that sounds like kind of everybody, right? Like I said, seasoned guys, and it seems like everyone in
Yeah.
the band just got a lot of different chops and a lot of different background. I'm sure can just kind of jump around into different worlds. what did you have any initial types of music that really resonated with you from a young age that I feel like we all have those like moments when we're young, right? Whether it's when you're a kid or when you're a teen. For me, it was like when I kind of got into my teens and certain things, I was like, oh man, just made me want to play guitar. What was there anyone particular for you that was just like, this is it, this is why I want to be a drummer?
I'm about to fuck y'all up, bro. I'm about to fuck y'all up.
All right.
It was funny, bro. Like we were in LA doing the album release joint, did a little after party at the Airbnb, and a good friend of mine came up to me and he was like, "Bro, did you know that like scientists have proven that whatever you listen to when you were a teenager, from 13 to like 16, molecularly, blah 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 blah, whatever the fuck, like that, whatever you listen to as a teen, that it's like a chemical thing, whatever you like got deep into, not just listen to, but like really like that was your thing. That became your favorite style of music. That became your thing. So if you were to play like Nirvana, right, for a group of, like, let's say we played in 2024 for a group of 13-year-olds, group of 23, 33, 43, 53, 63, 73, ones that were in the teenage group when that came out, when that was the thing, that's their shit.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that. I'm gonna let that sink in for like 7 seconds. We're not just gonna talk for like 7 seconds. We're just gonna let that sink in for like everybody listening. Cause it tripped me out, bro. I was like, shit, like that's true.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. That's why you
It
got
does
all
make
these people
sense.
that you have. I mean, Vic and I, anybody in our age group is just like I mean, and everyone feels like their generation was the best and had the best music and all that shit. I don't know. I mean,
Right. It's
you can't
crazy.
not feel that way. But where we came up, it was I can't even that sort of that early 90s. It was like the late 60s. There was just this movement in music that was unprecedented. I don't think has ever happened since, where you had all these things at the forefront on MTV, on the radio. The biggest bands in the world were like the best. And it was like, whether it was rock or the grunge movement or hip hop, it was like all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
now is classic rock or, it's kind of
Yeah.
legendary stuff. But man, that stuff is, of course, our generation. That's what we're never going to get away from that. And I like things before it. I like things after it. But if
Right.
you
So
if you
so
were
like,
like, if you gave me the desert island and said you can take 5 albums, they're probably going to come from the early 90s, or at least a couple of them are.
right, for skunk, right? And then like the crazy thing is, man, is that like it's for us, we're like, okay, well, do we now market our music to 13-year-olds and 16-year-olds, or how do we
Yeah.
become like your favorite song or like your favorite artist, right? So I don't know, man. It's been a very interesting thing. I see a lot of labels now doing things in a very like weird way. When I kind of found that out, I was like, oh, okay, that's why they're doing that. That's what, because
Hmm.
even if it's like wrestling, like I watched Mr. McMahon the whole time I was in LA. Like I'm on like episode 4, like I think right now. I was like, oh shit, that's what Vince Jr. was doing that Vince Sr. wasn't doing, right? Vince Sr. was marketing to like the beer drinker, bar guy, country dude, blah, blah, blah. Vince Sr. was like, okay, we'll take the same, like, bro, it's WWE, right? It's like F
Yeah.
you, blah, blah, blood,
Yeah.
crazy stuff. But we're going to market it a different way. And boom, you see like kids and their moms and their dads and teens in the front row buying
Yeah.
$200 million worth of
Yeah.
merch in a year. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, that's the jug. That's that's
Yeah.
that's what this is about. Again, beyond like a lot of the marketing stuff, making money, all of that kind of stuff, man. We're more so about like, man, how do you take the power of music, right? Like the power of music has the ability to make someone want to go rob somebody and like go do some stupid stuff because they get like hyped up on drill music, or has the ability to make you like want to go work out in the morning, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it's that one song, it's that 3 minute and 22 second song that like, this is what I needed to like get through this last, push,
Yeah.
but it's so crazy, man. Anyone who's listening and who's a musician and who has the power of making music, bro, understand, man. It's like, I mean, obviously you can go think about it like, these guys are thinking about it to go make money, this, that, the other, man. But it's also another side where people are like, man, even with what we're doing, partnering with the Phoenix and like trying to broaden the scope a little bit more and get them into the world of music. It's just like, man, this has so much more power to help people in so many different ways, man. So we're excited, man, about having this album out and, hopefully inspiring and just create, flicking a spark, for somebody out there to get inspired, man, to go do the thing, man. Go
Yeah,
do
I
the
think
thing.
it's a great message for artists, just in terms of, especially to the today's age. I mean, I know it's messed with me like anybody else, and it's easy to go, I don't know, I'm old and I don't get what the kids are doing, and I'll never be successful and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, well, what's your definition of success? You know what I mean? The definite, like, if you go back to
Right.
that very beginning place, what resonated and made me want to play music, or anybody want to pick up an instrument or do anything that they wanted to do artistically. It doesn't have to be music. It could be, it could be painting or anything like, but that spark, keeping that spark alive and doing it for those reasons, because I think that's another thing too, right? It's got to be true to you, in my opinion, to be sort of real art. It's that's what an artist is, right? And so if you're doing that, and if you're, it's hard to do, and you get caught up in all these other things, but
Mm-hmm.
if you're doing that for you first, and you're just creating the music and trying, at least at that moment, not to worry about all the other shit, and I got to make it
Right.
this amount of length and commercial this, and
Oh yeah.
Spotify plays this, and Instagram likes, and all that crazy crap that everybody thinks about and deals with these days, like that, I think, is a really important message, maybe more for young people than anybody, man. It's like, hey, no,
Mm-hmm.
don't worry about all this shit, man. Just be
Mm-hmm.
you, be authentic. I hear that a lot from people that give seminars and talk about music and stuff. It's like, no, authenticity, and a message. And but what is your message? Who are you? Don't try to copy someone else. Don't
Exactly.
try to be someone else. What are you? What is,
Exactly.
everyone has a place in this world, right? What is your place?
That's right. That's right.
And so I think that alone, and with what you guys are doing, I think, to artists, in particular, to anybody, but artists, that is a message that people need to hear, even whether you're young or addicted, or you're someone like me. I think it's just going, yeah, cool, man, just freaking create and don't worry so much about the other things. And if you feel like shit, go to the gym
Right.
and then come back and create more.
Period. That's it. Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to say the obvious out loud, right?
Yep. That's it. I love it.
I love the where, and Vic mentioned this at the top when he was reading through the bio. How did you guys come up with the name? Just elaborate
Man,
on that.
so yeah. So two LOT, second law of thermodynamics. That's entropy, right? That's what that is. Entropy is something that's going to set into this chair that I'm sitting in right now. It's going to set into you, me, basically everything that exists right now, man. I mean, the computer screen you're looking at, eventually, man, everything is going to atrophy and wither away, right? So with the natural era of time, man, if that's how everything is going to end, right? If that's the end all, how do we fight entropy? How do you? That's why we have the slash through the L and the O as something that symbolizes us taking the power of music, man, and using that, man, to overcome the fucking bullshit that we've gone through in our lives, and not to just call it BS, right? But real issues, man, things that really, really have affected us, man, that were challenging to overcome. But man, again, when you listen to the lyrics on the album, man, just throughout, man, all of these different songs, you'll see, man, like, okay, yeah, these guys are really taking this thing serious. And not only that, but what we do when we're, doing live shows, man. But yeah, two lot, man. Second law of entropy. I'm sorry, second law of thermodynamics, which is entropy. Again, is a kind of negative thing, right? Entropy is not positive. It's something that's going to like happen to everybody. But again, that's why we, have the slash there, man, to symbolize overcoming that. And if it's going to end the same for everybody, what can we do in spite of, right?
Right,
With the
yeah.
time that we have,
Right.
and not sit there and waste it and complain and just bullshit around, right? Because again, man, there's so many things, and so much power that we have, but what we could be doing. And again, it's just about having the creating music and creating moments that kind of, help folks focus on that.
Well,
Very cool.
in line with that, why don't you tell us a little about the title track of this album,
Yeah,
being
man.
Entropy,
So
right? Or the track,
absolutely,
the
man.
album
So
itself, right? Yeah.
exactly, man. So entropy, man, that was a That was a funny one, man. We were trying to get that cut short a little bit, but man, that was one that we just said, you know what, man, we're just gonna have a very long version, a radio edit version, man. But again, man, when you listen to the lyrics of the song, man, that is something that kind of encompasses every song on the record, the meaning of Tulot, the meaning of, again, everything that it is that we've been going through, that we symbolize, that we're trying to, the message that we're trying to push forward. There's kind of two parts to that song. There's a part, again, like every other song on the record, man, where we're kicking it off, kind of getting into the lyrics, this, that, the other, man. But there's kind of where you see things kind of build up and then crash and burn, and then you see the second half of the song. I'm not going to spoil anything, man. I'm trying not to say too much, man. I think the band is going to get mad at me for saying what I'm about to say. But there's a rise from the ashes part of Entropy, right? Of the song on the record. That's kind of like the last, maybe 2.5, 3 minutes. And to me, man, that's probably one of my favorite parts of the whole entire album, man. Yeah, just was so much fun to record that.
I dig
Yeah,
it.
I mean, and one thing I love about music too, and just and when it says someone who writes songs, like what is cool is when you might write a song for you that could mean a real specific thing for you, but it doesn't mean that to someone else. They can interpret it
Right.
however they interpret it and make it work for them. And there are songs that that I've written, and people like, I love this song and this and that, and it makes me feel this and think of this, and that might have not even had anything to do with what was going on in my brain. It doesn't matter, but it
Yeah.
impacted them, especially if it's an positive. It empowers them. It makes them, like I said, work out or feel good or get enthusiastic or overcome all those things. And I mean, once in a while you get those compliments, especially as an artist. I mean, they're equally, I think, important to us sometimes as a frail artist as they are to a person, that when they say like, oh my God, this thing changed my life, or this is my favorite song, you're like, holy shit, like, thank you. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so,
Right.
but I mean, so if I'm just going to like do some like, nerdy artistic stuff on my own with your album, right? And I look and I go, Cage. I mean, that's the first track, and it hit me right out the gate, and I loved that track immediately. And then we cruise along. But you just look at the titles, human, grief, sacrifice. I think grief was that one I got to, where it was like Shot in the Dark's track too. There's a great video for that. I mean, you got
Yeah.
singles, I think, for most of these, but like
Yeah.
grief, human, sacrifice, all these, I mean, just the titles alone, right? They're kind of telling a story as you go.
That's right.
And then
That's
and then
right.
you get to the end, and like you said, you kind of, I think, great records. I'm a very conceptualized Pink Floyd kind of guy. I like that peaks and valleys and a flowing record and an epic ending. And so that's a perfect way. You have this epic coda that's the closer, and it kind of brings it all together. And I think like that to me is like it's but whether you thought that or not, is irrelevant. Like, to me, I see that as and I don't mean that in a negative way to you, but it's like, to me, that gives me something that I latch onto, not only song by song, but as an overall concept, as an album, that I go, man, yeah, I don't know. There's like another level to it, that I appreciate, in my mind. So,
Brent, that's one of the best compliments that we could have gotten, man, is that we remind you, number one, of like some Pink Floyd shit. That's crazy. And that we have, like to us, one of the hardest parts of like combining electronic and jam, those two worlds, right? In like giving the audience the best of both worlds,
right.
is the build, right?
Yes.
In the drop, right? It's like, how do you really, really get that locked in? And man, that's one thing we've kind of, experimented with, and we're having a lot of fun with, man, is taking people on the journey through that, build up, and again, just dropping you on your head, man. Just like what the fuck just happened?
Dude,
Like, wow.
I don't know where I read
Yeah,
it, and I never would have thought this, but that I read it and I thought about it, and I don't know if it was on the website or somewhere, and I was just like, man, that's so accurate. It's the connection between jam music and EDM, in the sense that you are elevating to the utmost tension, right? I mean, you go back to classical music, you go to any music,
exactly.
and there
That's it.
is a
That's it.
tension and a release. It's that 5/1. It's that cadence that is in all of
That's
music,
it.
man. And
Is
whether
that a
you
5-1?
dude, and whether you know the authentic cadence or not, you know what I mean? Like, whether you know it, whether you're a music nerd or not, that is in our soul. That's the universal language, like laughter, like smiling, like crying. We all understand it on a fundamental level
Yeah,
that does
yeah,
not have to be explained. And so when you do that, whether it is a symphonic works, that has all that stuff going on with a 40-piece or 100-piece orchestra, or whether it's EDM that's taking you to the brink and then drops, or a jam, if they go and they go, how far can they go? And then they finally release and bring it back. And it's that tension and release, that
yeah,
universal
buddy.
music. And it's interesting. I just thought that was so cool, and I wouldn't have thought of that with those two genres, but I'm like, it makes perfect sense, actually, those two things together, because they really take you that far, and then
Yeah,
give you that tension and release, man.
yeah, yeah. It's a lot of fun, man, and it's really crazy how we illustrate that. How we, I mean, again, when you listen to the record in the car, right? I mean, you're hearing with your ears, but when you see our show, you're hearing with your eyes, right? And we do a lot visually, creating gag moments, doing so much, man, that I won't give a lot away, man, but
No, yeah, I get it, dude. I
yeah, I
mean,
mean the
the
lasers, I mean,
performance is a whole nother animal, and it's such an important part today. I mean, arguably, I
yeah,
don't know, not true. It's contingent on genre and who the artist is and all that, but it's like maybe once upon a time in the glory days of guitar and stuff, it'd be like people would be fine with just watching four dudes dressed like hippies playing guitar really loud. It's like, is that enough now? You need a show. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think the idea of seeing you guys, and a lot, this is a mark of a great band, I think too. Sometimes bands might have great songs, and I've seen them live and been like, it fell a little flat. Thought it was a little boring. Or
yeah,
maybe there was a band that was like, okay. Or like, I like this album. Okay, it's not my favorite thing in the world, but I dig it. And then you see them live, and you're just like exponentially a bigger fan, because it's like they put on a great show. And I just
right.
feel like talking to you, and just this EJM, this idea, this concept. It's like, for me, immediately I'm intrigued. Like, I want to see this show. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I want to see how these elements combine in a live performance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully a lot of people are wanting to,
I
do
hope
that
so,
and
man.
yeah,
Yeah.
go out there,
And I
buy a
hope you
ticket,
guys
come out to a show.
You guys
Yeah.
better play Austin. You know us. You don't want to drive 3.5 hours to Dallas, and we're lazy, dude. Like, Austinites don't even want to drive to North Austin. If you're in
We
South
got
Austin,
you.
you're like,
We
nah,
got
fuck
you.
that.
Yeah.
I
I don't even
promise
want to
we're
drive
gonna,
downtown.
man.
Yeah.
No, we were at ACI, or I mean, what was it? Austin City Limits
AC,
ACL.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It was a spot, that we were at. But I know Austin City Limits is like a thing, like a festival type of deal.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was like a venue that we were at.
Yeah.
Golly, I'm trying to think of the venue, dude. Man, it slipped my mind, but we were just there for South by last March, man. So we're definitely going
Huh?
to be coming back. And hopefully, man, we have a decent crowd after this interview, man. So yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. And yeah, I mean, if you guys play a South by again, I mean, Vic and I don't know if you did it, Vic. I did get that artist badge that one year, or not artist badge. I got like a press badge
Press
one
pass.
year.
Yeah.
Press badge. So it'd be cool to like actually do official South by interviews. I haven't actually
That
done
would
that
be.
before.
Oh man,
Me
we
I
got to
neither.
just
do
had
that.
but I had an
We
all
got to do
access
that. We
pass.
got to do
It'd be killer, dude. It'd be really,
that.
really
Yeah.
fun, man. Yeah. So we'll
No,
we'll try to
we
check
got to
in on
set it
that
up.
and see if maybe that's
Yeah.
coming up quick. Shit. So yeah, see if we
Yeah.
can do something like that. Absolutely. We'll be following you guys. Keep us posted on the tour. We started doing playlists recently, and I might let you take it from here, Vic, and just kind of talk about this concept, because we always take a track. We have like kind of a master playlist of everyone we've had on the podcast that has music, that's a musical artist, which is most of our guests. But then also we started wanting to just make a playlist for each guest. And it's like kind of a combination of some of their original music,
Mm-hmm.
but also some of their big influences. And so,
Oh, shit.
yeah,
Okay.
Kind of like
take that.
kind of like a soundtrack of your life. Like, maybe some stuff that you were inspired by when you were a kid growing up, maybe that 13 teenager range that you were just talking about, right?
Mm.
And then kind of what
Mm.
led you into some of the songs that you have out now. So we usually try to build a playlist, 8 to 10 songs. Could be
I
more, could
can't
be
help
less.
myself. I go over.
Skunk goes like 50
But
songs for each guest,
yeah,
and
500 songs.
500 songs.
Man, y'all got me thinking already. I already know where this is going. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's
Go
hear
ahead,
it.
Okay.
Vic.
What
Get
do you
it out,
got?
bro. Let me see. Okay, so shameless plug. Right here. This is a book Trusco got for everybody. Dilla time. Anybody knows about
For
Jay
Jay
Dilla?
Dilla? Yeah, yeah.
Shout out to Jay Dilla.
Yep.
Man, I mean,
Awesome.
he changed
Awesome stuff.
the game completely. I would say On the One was just like a random, You can't get it on Apple Music. You can't get this shit on Spotify. Like
Huh.
you just got to go find it. It's just
Was
out
that
there, bro.
was
Like
that
yeah.
before? Was that before? What was the other big release that he had? Was it Donuts or
Yeah,
what was
this is
that?
not on Donuts. This is
No.
one of those just obscure things that he made, and
Mm,
it's just out there.
yeah.
But
I'll hear.
okay,
I'll
so
hear
you're talking
little.
about albums? Or are you talking about
Well, I mean,
songs?
if you think just a
Album?
general
Oh, let's go
artist,
albums. Let's go
yeah,
albums.
whatever
Okay.
you want to do, man. Whatever you
Yeah.
want
Let's
to
go
do.
albums. Let's go albums. Let's go albums.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So albums. All right. Bet. We can go donuts. We'll throw that up there. No
Okay.
particular order. Yeah,
Yeah.
donuts is up there for sure.
Man,
Uh,
I hear a lot of like samples from Donuts, like almost weekly.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh
crazy.
yeah. Oh yeah. All the time, bro. Let me see here. So we'll go albums. We'll go. Let me see here. I'm trying to cheat, y'all. I'm on my Apple Music app.
No worries.
Trying to
No
figure it
worries.
out.
I was
What?
wondering why your picture disappeared because you're going through
Oh
Apple right
shit.
now. No, dude,
Oh
it's
my
all
bad.
good.
Okay.
It's all
All right.
good.
No cheating. All right. No. All right. So then this is real. Let's keep it a buck. Okay. So we got donuts up there. The joint with electronic relaxation. Tribe Called Quest. It's something. I'm trying to think of the name of the joint. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, my camera's gonna have to kind of be off for this one, y'all.
It's all
Okay,
That
right.
way
that's cool.
I don't keep y'all all night. I know y'all's wives are gonna be mad at me. But man, fuck that boy Omar. Okay, so
Cutting into Vic's
the
sleep, man.
I know, right?
No,
My
no, no,
bad, Vic. I'm sorry.
no.
All right, the
You're good.
anthology, bro. Boom.
Say that again.
Um, the anthology, Tribe Called Quest. The anthology,
Oh,
bro.
that's okay. That's the record. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that the record. We're gonna go Black Radio, Robert Glasper. That's a no-brainer. Gotta do that. We're gonna go man, something that really, really influenced me a lot was Rufus the Soul. Big time, man. Yeah, man. They got so many different crazy records. We'll go Bloom. We'll go Bloom. Yeah, we'll go Bloom. Yeah, we'll go Bloom. Yeah.
Okay.
The new joint is really crazy, but yeah, Bloom is kind of like what I really, really got hip to.
I like this album thing, dude.
You
I
know what
don't
I'm
think we've
saying?
done this yet. We haven't. We've talked. We kind of
It's pretty
caught
cool.
artists or maybe some, but I like throwing it like picking it because it's so hard to pick. But if you say look an artist, if you can pick an album, I kind of like this idea of going like, all right, I'm going to choose this album by this artist.
I do like the
Man, and
albums.
y'all
Yeah.
stop me because I'm losing, I lost count. We'll go with this is natural. I know y'all probably you gotta have this on your top 10. The Chronic, Dr. Dre.
Mm.
Gotta have
Yeah,
that.
man. I mean,
Just
like, hey,
off
we
the
dude, we were like 13. It's in our DNA, dude.
it's in your deal.
Yeah.
True.
Particularly,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
it's
Yeah, we
there.
can't
Yeah.
avoid it. Yeah.
Okay, bet. So we got the Chronic. Okay, what else do we got? Let's go. We got the Chronic. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, let's go to Black Album, Jay-Z. Let's go to Black Album, Jay-Z. Black Album, Jay-Z. Gospel head. We'll go like some old school Kurt Franklin. Let's go with like mm, let me see, Franklin. Let's go with the Fight of My Life, Kurt Franklin. That's just something that like really stuck with me. And then we have to go 10-Day Chance the Rapper. That's like really good friend of mine. Love
Yeah.
Chance.
Did you play with him? Somebody played
I
with him, right?
did,
Was that
man. Yeah,
you?
yeah. I played with him a
What was
few
that like?
times, man. Yeah, it was crazy just being in the mix in Chicago. In 2011, man, when like drill music was like hitting the scene. Chief Keef was this new guy no one had heard of. And it was wild. Yeah, it was wild. I played with him and I played with Vic Mensa. So let's put Vic Mensa internet tape. INNA tape. Internet tape. So it should be like internet, but he, kind of trying to be ghetto.
Internet.
Okay.
Internet. Yeah, yeah. Internet.
Internet.
Yeah.
Internet
Yeah,
tape.
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly how he said it. That was his ad lib.
Who was?
Internet.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Vic Mensa. He signed with Jay-Z actually. Vic.
Vic Mensa. Okay.
Yeah. I played. I
What
was
did you?
the
What did you?
only. I played
Sorry. Go ahead.
drums for Vic Mensa's internet tape release show at the Vic Theater in Chicago, and I played Chance the Rapper's 10-day release concert at the Metro in Chicago within the
Mm.
same year. which is
Huh.
wild.
It
Yes,
is,
bro.
man.
Like it was just a normal fucking gig to me at that time, bro. But like now I look back at it and I'm just like, damn, I'm gonna be at the old folks' home talking about this shit. Like that's not gonna happen again, you know?
That's
That ain't
cool,
happening
dude.
no time soon, bro. Yeah, that was wild.
You know, could I'm sure we could go for. I like any
I gotta
musician, you
add
could go
one
on
more, bro. I
forever.
gotta add one
All
more. I
right,
gotta add
I'll
one
give you
more.
one
Okay.
more.
UGK
Oh,
riding.
dude, UGK, you just went Texas, bro. Yeah, dude.
I had to. I was like, they're not ready for this one, but yeah, but now y'all ready. Yeah, UGK riding dirty. All right, I'm good. We're good.
Dude, Bun B
That's
is a
it.
cool guy, man. I love that dude. Like, yeah, UGK is cool, dude.
Yeah, him and my pops are really good friends, man. Shout out again to
Right
pops,
on.
bro.
Mm.
Very,
Yeah,
very good friends, bro. Yeah, very good
very
friends.
cool, man. Yeah, he does a lot of good stuff, man. I'm down with UGK any day.
No doubt.
Living that high life, son. Well, like, what about any of your bandmates? Was there anything collectively like all you guys
Mm.
just geek out on, or do you know
Yeah,
if there
good
anybody
question.
that's like super adamant? Like, what if you could collectively maybe pick an album for the band? Is that even possible?
Mm. Damn. Okay, hold on.
He's about to send out some text real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm doing this two-lot interview. What album as a band do we think is our top album of all time?
You're gonna
Something
get
by
like
Let me see.
400
Let me
Skunky.
see.
messages. Yeah.
I know, right? Let's see if anybody takes back.
Whoever texts first, they just win. That's just an automatic, you know.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see who takes back. Let's see. Somebody's about to text back in just like 5 seconds.
Whoever's like sees it and just actually is like, I gotta text this immediately. You know they're passionate about that album.
Yeah.
This, or we just sit here in silence for another 2 hours on this podcast and just like,
No, hell no. We definitely not. We definitely not. No.
we're gonna
Nah,
take another
somebody's about
break,
to hit it.
everybody.
I know, right?
Run our
Oh,
sponsor
okay.
ads.
So if I had to guess, so one thing that we all have in common, y'all might find this funny, is gangster rap. Okay? So like
Mm.
these type shit.
That's what. Okay,
Okay.
Right?
yeah, old
Yeah,
school,
yeah.
dude.
Like
Hell yeah.
like Ice Cube, it was a good day,
Yeah.
like that. Like I know I
Yeah.
shouldn't I can't go wrong in that area. So I'm gonna say probably like Me Against the World Tupac. Boom. That's it right there. Bam.
There you go. There you
That's
go.
it. Got it.
I mean,
We
you
got
got
it.
Dre and Tupac in there. You got a pretty good slice of your '90s and your gangster rap right there, dude.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Hopefully, yeah, I don't get fired. But yeah, I think
They're gonna come back and be like, "What are you talking about, man? We all hate Tupac. Who's this Tupac guy you speak of? I've never heard of him." Even though he was in like 40 movies, even after he was, even after he passed away.
I know, right?
There's a
Like,
part. I think
bro,
there's a part of everybody that's just been
bro,
like, is Tupac really gone?
is he really
Because he was
gone
in a
though?
lot of movies.
Yeah, I was born in '93, so I was born in the whole like, skeptical era that he's probably still around in Jamaica
Yeah, well, I
somewhere or
meing
something,
that's what I mean though. Like that was Vic and I's coming of age. I mean, that was our teenage, like starting high school, and like,
Well,
dude, it was incredible. It was just absolutely, and it's cool. Like guys like you, I played in bands with guys, your age, and it's like they still have the same influences that I do, though. That's just such great
it
music. I
is,
think
man.
it's the same
Yeah,
as for like our generation. Vic and I coming up, even though we were 10 plus years past the Beatles, popping and all the stuff that happened in the late 60s, but it's still how are you not going to get into the Beatles? You know what I mean?
exactly.
Or Led
Right.
Zeppelin or Jimi Hendrix or whatever was coming out at that time. So it's just like that stuff lives forever. And for us, it was just like, it was insane because like you
Yeah.
had Nirvana and Soundgarden and Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains and all the grunge stuff. And then you had Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and all that all on the fucking forefront, all at the same time, dude.
We got to take away Tupac, bro. I'm sorry. We got to put Nirvana. Got to put Nirvana there.
Well, we did bring
Gotta
up
put
Nirvana
that.
earlier, so
We gotta put. Let's just replace that, bro. I don't know who's typing and doing the, Nirvana, bro. Yeah. That's the one.
I mean, is
That's the
this
one.
going to be Nevermind? I guess is that going to be the big?
Of course, yeah, absolutely. We don't gotta say it.
You should have said, "Never mind, Tupac. Never mind." No, just move on.
It's never mind. Yeah.
All right. So
That's
once
the
we
one.
get through listening to these 400 songs you've given us, we'll yeah, screw it. I'll just put all these albums on a playlist. That I can't decide anyway. I'm like, this is all great. I'll put it all in there.
All right,
Cool,
man.
dude.
Cool.
Awesome. All right, brother. Man, too, it's been great having you. It's been a lot of fun talking to you. I mean, you're
Really,
a super
bro.
cool guy and passionate. I mean, right up the road in Dallas, Texas. So absolutely hope to see you perform. Hope to see Two Lot. What a great message. I really want to put this band out there. And absolutely, Vic and I, let us know when you're coming to Austin. We'll keep an eye out. We'll see you there. Hopefully we can maybe see you at South by or something. And tell people real quick where they can find you, anything else you got to add, and then we'll sign off.
Bro, first off, I want to just tell, you, Skunk and Vic, man, thank you for having us, man. It means a lot, man, to just have even one person supporting Two Lot, the album, anything Two Lot related. Thank y'all for being a part of the community. Anybody listening that's watching this or anything like that, man, you can follow us on Instagram at Two Lot Live, the number 2LOT Live, all one word. That's pretty much all of our stuff on, our handles. On YouTube, you can just look us up, Two Lot, 2LOT, and you should be able to see everything, Two Lot related, man. So appreciate y'all having us, man. But yeah, that's all I got, man, to sign off on, man. Just follow us on Instagram, Two Lot Live, bro.
Thank you, too. Now Vic does the pro sign off.
Yeah, well, I don't know about the pro, but appreciate it. Thank you. Follow Two Lot, please. Check out their website, twolot.com, as well as Spotify, Instagram, YouTube. For Skunk Manhattan, myself, thank you guys for spending time with us, and we'll see you on the next one. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. All right.
Let's go.
Thanks, guys.